I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And first off, one thing I forgot, because I just got done recording the review of the first Garfield. That movie was directed by the same guy who did Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. And I really like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. So the guy who directed that directed the first Garfield. So I don't know what happened with him. Here, this guy, I don't know what else he's directed, but I don't like the first Garfield. This is even worse. Now, before I go in, this is another review for a nice person who sent me a pledge on my Patreon. Want to make sure I pronounce this. Sodden Grider. Thank you for that. Again, anyone's ever interested in my Patreon, if you want to pledge there or send me a request via PayPal, links are down below. But the person that asked me my thoughts on Garfield and Garfield 2, A Tail of Two Kitties, which came out 2006, pretty much is a take on the story of the Prince and the Pauper, where Garfield gets mixed up with this cat that looks exactly like him, who's a prince, and that cat is voiced by Tim Curry, and Tim Curry, his performance pretty much, Tim Curry sounds drunk. I know what he's trying to do, but he just came off as, if you want to hear Tim Curry sound like he's drunk, that's his voice for the Prince cat. Breckin Meyer, Jennifer Love Hewitt, they return to their nothing bland roles that were in the first movie. And once again, they're bland, boring, nothing roles in this movie, where Breckin Meyer wants to marry Jennifer Love Hewitt, going to propose. She goes to England. He follows with Garfield and Odie stashing his suitcase, which apparently, didn't he take a plane to get there? So you would think the airplane would look in the bag and see, oh, you got two cats here. You would think that's what would happen. But it cuts away from there to being in England. I'm like, did you swim there? Did you take a boat? If you took a plane, this is after 9/11, yeah, the cats would not still be in the suitcase. I don't know, maybe they traveled by osmosis, I don't know. But anyway, they get there, Garfield doesn't want to stay in the room, he goes out, he gets picked up by a butler, the butler's looking for the Prince cat, gets taken back. Now, at the castle, you have, again, for budget reasons, Garfield's the only CGI animal. All the other animals are real animals, including Bob Hoskins as the voice of a dog. And granted, they know he's not the real one, but they go along with it because as long as this Prince cat is there, they can stay there. Because the bad guy is Billy Connolly, who I swear to God, looks exactly like John Cleese in this. He's trying to act like John Cleese. He's trying to sound like John Cleese. And to the point, for a second I thought it was John Cleese. I'm like, wait a minute. No. Oh, it's Billy Connolly, who's been in stuff. He was in the X-Files. I want to believe this is a good movie, but it's not. He's been in a lot of other stuff, Billy Connolly. But he really looks and acts like John Cleese. From A Fish Called Wanda, Fierce Creatures, Monty Python stuff, among others. So Garfield, of course, is having the time of his life, getting all the food that he wants, getting all the animals to make lasagna. Meanwhile, Billy Connolly's trying to find a way to get rid of the cat, and the animals are trying to stop him as if it's furry vengeance with Brendan Fraser. And, okay, one thing I will admit with the first film, it did not try to do a lot of fart jokes or piss jokes. I will say that with the first movie. This does that. It's like, oh, that's what was missing. So there's a scene where Garfield's trying to get into this little house that's in the big house. It's like a playpen thing. Squeezes through and farts in Bob Hoskins' face, the dog. And the dog literally goes, "Well struck, sir. Good tone, smooth finish." Yes, Bob Hoskins, and yet you said that the Super Mario Bros. Movie was the worst movie you were involved with. But in this, your character gets farted in the face, and you said, "Good, well struck, sire." Wasn't sir, it was sire. "Well struck, sire. Good tone, smooth finish." Would you like a finish on your face? You might as well. Or Odie, the dog pissing on the guard. You know how a lot of these movies, if they're in England, they always have to have the scene with the guard. He's not supposed to do anything. And then, of course, they always make him do something. A very typical cliche if it's a comedy in England. Or at least this kind. And Odie pisses on the guy's leg, so the guy chases Odie and Garfield. You have jokes. One is Garfield singing "Moving on up to the castle." I mean, like the TV show, "Moving on up to the east side," but here it's "to the castle." Oh my God, man. You're really doing the "moving on up"? I know this is a take on Prince and the Pauper, where, you know, they get switched. And there's many movies that have done that story. But for some reason, I swear there are times where I truly think the people who made this is trying to remake Teen Ralph with John Goodman. I don't know why, but so many times in this movie, I'm like, are they just remaking Teen Ralph with John Goodman? Is that what they're doing? I don't know why. It just came into my brain. And just like jokes you've seen a million times. Of course, if you have two of the similar, looking the same, there's a moment where they go by and they think they're looking at a mirror, and of course they realize they're not. How? From a bad breath. Because Garfield breathes on the other, and the other ready to pass out. The finale, the two are messing with Billy Connolly. The animals are messing with him too. Dogs bite him in the balls. Billy Connolly, the villain's character. Billy Connolly wants to be the main guy because there was a will reading, and the cat became the prince. The cat got everything. It's one of those movies that you gotta buy that bullshit. But you know what? If I was having fun, I'll buy the bullshit. But you know what? I don't buy the bullshit because I wasn't having fun. Oh, it's a kids movie. It's a shitty kids movie. There could be good kids movies. This is a shitty one. The Goonies, it's a family film. It's a good one. Wall-E, you just say it's a kids film. It's a good one. The first two Ninja Turtle films from the 90s are kids films. They're good ones, in my opinion. Plenty more. Aladdin, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I saw recently. Hell, Sonic the Hedgehog, it's not perfect, but I had a lot more fun with that than this. It's just like the characters weren't interesting. Garfield I didn't give a fuck about. Bill Murray just wasn't funny to me. The ending, the two, like I said, they're messing with Billy Connolly. Billy Connolly is trying to force the other people to change it so that he's the king of the place because he wants to bulldoze everything and put in like a spa or something. And get rid of all the animals. He gets stopped. Breckin Meyer proposes Jennifer Love Hewitt as if you gave a shit. Billy Connolly got stopped, I think, from a weasel going up his pants. Hope it bit his pecker off. And I guess the family gets to live there because they're hanging out in the castle. I don't know if they just get to live there forever or just hang out for a while. I mean, part of me is like, why even have Breckin Meyer and Jennifer Love Hewitt's characters in there? It says they do absolutely nothing. Feels like they're barely part of the film. The jokes are tired, they're lame, they're lazy, there's nothing witty or funny or clever about it. The story, like, why for a sequel to Garfield are you going to do the Prince and the Pauper storyline? You tell me there's no multitude of other plots other than to do that story? Which is funny, is to take on the Prince and the Pauper, but it's called A Tail of Two Kitties, which is another story of a tale of two cities. Tale of two pussies, tale of two shitties. I mean, I don't know what else to say. If they played short, hour and 20-some minutes like the first one. I did not notice a lot of product placement compared to the first one. But the first film had no story. This just had a very lame story. At least the first one, the stuff between him and Odie, the idea could be something that was from the cartoon. This, not really. Like the first one, if done well, it could be like the cartoon. Oh, well, friction between Garfield and Odie. That's something you could easily see being done in the cartoon. This, it seemed like a plot they had pulled out of their ass and they went, put in the Garfield sequel, why not? And funny enough, you would see this stuff happen again and again. You had Alvin and the Chipmunks, where instead of Breckin Meyer, it was Jason Lee. You had the Smurfs, which in that place was Neil Patrick Harris. The first Alvin and the Chipmunks I will give credit to. I know, shoot me. But at least some of the songs were decent for what they were. Jason Lee, I thought, did a little bit better acting compared to Breckin Meyer in these movies. Maybe not the sequels, but the first one. The first one seemed like it tried to have a little bit of a heart. Well, I knew where he was going with, but I mean, it still had his dumb jokes and things of that nature. But there was stuff that I thought worked in the first Alvin and the Chipmunks. I will give credit where credit's due, at least in my opinion. Sequels, the first one, okay. But stuff like this, lazy, unoriginal, boring, not needed, useless, pointless, hopeless, unfunny, bland, forgettable. What the hell is Bob Hoskins doing in this, voicing a dog who gets farted on by Garfield? Bob Hoskins, was he really that hurt for work at this time? Rest in peace, Bob Hoskins. Love you and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But were you really hurting for work? You can't, I mean, I know you talk shit about Super Mario Brothers. You had a bad experience, but that's way better than this. I actually like that movie for what it is. This, not so much. But I don't know what to say about Garfield Two Kitties. It's a nothing movie. A nothing story. You might as well watch the fucking tub fill up. Or your balls drop. Or the fucking rain. Blame it on the rain. Let it pour on your window. I mean, you get the same effect. And Bill Murray, I don't know why he came back for the sequel. Because I don't think he was obligated contractually. I don't think so. I could be wrong. And I swear there's a written interview where Breckin Meyer is like, yeah, I don't know how he came back for the sequel, but he seemed like he wanted to get really involved. Which if that's the case, then part of it's your fault, Bill Murray. Because I like Bill Murray in a lot of movies, from Stripes to Groundhog Day to St. Vincent to Meatballs to Ghostbusters and more, but these Garfield films are some of the worst you've been a part of. Just lazy, uninspired, forgettable, boring, bullshit family films. I think even the family would be like, fuck this. The kids would be like, fuck this. Fuck you, Dad, for taking me to this movie. This movie sucks ass. Your daughter would be like, you know what? Fuck you, Mom. Why'd you take me to this movie? I'm gonna go smoke in the bathroom now. You're underage, I don't care. I'd rather smoke than do with this. There's at least the kids doing drugs in the bathroom. I'm just messing with you, but either way, thanks for watching. Take care. See you guys later. Fuck these Garfield movies. Just go watch the animated cartoon. Or go back and reread the old comic strips. Take a lot less time. You'd lose a lot less brain cells. And have a lot more fun. See you guys later. Bye-bye.